If you love the thought of connected theme-based learning for your homeschool, but are completely and utterly overwhelmed with the thought of even just trying to pull that together, then you really want to stick around for today's video. Actually, if you're new here, welcome to Homeschool Resource Finder. I'm Kylie, a homeschooling mum since 2007, and I'm on a mission to connect you with the best educational resources that I can. So follow along for more great resource recommendations and exploration. Today, I'm joined by Cindy from Thematic Education. We're going to go over exactly what thematic education is and what it can do for your homeschool. Let's jump right in. All right, Cindy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you taking the time to pop on.
Yep.
Let's jump straight in with what is thematic education?
Thematic education is a method of teaching where subjects like English and maths to science and art are integrated into one unifying central theme. It's a natural extension of the play-based learning that I used to offer when I was working in the early childhood setting. It connects all areas of learning through topics children are curious about. It's engaging and hands-on, and it helps knowledge stick because children see how subjects are connected. Along with a goal-driven academic syllabus, it also includes two special elements, and that set us apart from everybody else. And the two elements are the Nature as a Living Teacher program and the Mindfulness Homeschool Classroom. And in the Nature as a Living Teacher program, we help children to connect deeply with the natural world around them. And the Mindfulness Classroom helps build emotional awareness and self-regulation, and it brings peace into the learning space. So the two elements aren't meant to be extras. They're keys to the way that children learn best through curiosity, connection, and calm.
So who is Cindy? Can you share
Okay,
a little
well,
bit about yourself, your
yeah.
background, your history, especially with homeschooling?
Okay, yep, great. Well, I'm a registered nurse and a qualified early childhood educator. But most importantly, I'm a homeschooling mum of over 7 years and I live in beautiful country Queensland. I guess you can say my passion for education really took off again when my son started school and when he was born. When he started school with me, because I was almost 40 and I was working in both long daycare and community kindergarten setting. And my son came with me. So he was learning while I was teaching. Each day when I went to work, I created a rich play-based learning environment for children aged 0 to 6, and they were both indoors and outdoors. And all the activities and learning experiences were tailored to the children's strengths, needs, and interests. And so by the time it came for my son to go to formal schooling, we went and I realised that mainstream education didn't really continue the same hands-on and child-led approach that we were both used to. So we made the leap into homeschooling, and honestly, it was the best decision we've ever made. We've never looked back. When lockdown started or when it happened, suddenly everybody that I knew, like all the parents who knew that I was homeschooling, were asking me for advice and asking me how I homeschool and just to give them some tips, because they were finding it really hard, to get their children to want to do anything at home. So that's really how the idea for thematic education came about and how the curriculum was born. As a nurse, I understood the developmental milestones of children. As an early childhood educator, I understood how children learnt best. And as a homeschool mum, I understood that the daily reality of balancing learning with life, really. So that's what the curriculum brings. It brings all of that together. It's designed to be developmentally appropriate and safe and engaging and meaningful. It's flexible enough for any learning style, and it's easy to use, even if you don't have a teaching background. And it's really designed to empower parents to confidently educate their children at home while they're building a strong, curious, lifelong learners.
Okay, so what can thematic education offer the homeschool families that are out there watching this?
Yeah, well, think that we just simply invite homeschoolers to rethink the way that learning looks, what it looks like. It's designed for families just like yours and mine. We start with curiosity using play and brainstorming to spark interests and themes for learning. And then those ideas are mapped into a year-long plan. And all learning is linked directly back to the Australian education curriculum, so families can be confident that they're meeting key outcomes. Learning is done by blending academic nature and mindfulness into everyday experiences. And to give you an example, I'm just going to turn a simple idea like growing mushrooms into a full learning experience. And a mushroom kit is something that many families can easily access, and it's compact, so you don't really need a big space for them to grow. So we use a yearly calendar as a planning tool in our curriculum and our homeschool program. And we use it as a creative springboard for learning on days that motivation's really low or might be low. So the calendar marks holidays such as public holidays, seasonal changes, and fun days to celebrate. And on October the 15th, it's World Mushroom Day. So I would just like to read quickly how a mushroom kit turns into a full year of learning with thematic education. So academically, we might explore the life cycle of the fungi. We track observations in a drawing journal. We can measure growth rates in centimetres and even graph our results. We can write stories and poems about mushrooms. We can explore the history of the mushroom and the different varieties, look at mushroom recipes around the world, and we would be covering science, art, maths, English, history, geography, and health studies. In our Nature as a Living Teacher program, we would learn about decomposition, the food chains, ecosystems, and the role mushrooms play in healthy soil. And we might even go on a nature walk to spot fungi and compare what we're growing at home. And in the mindfulness classroom, look at mindfulness coming into play when we slow down and observe, use our senses and reflect. And watching something grow helps children develop patience, focus, and gratitude. And that's how thematic homeschooler education curriculum work. We take a simple theme, in this case mushrooms, and expand it into a full, rich learning experience. I would love to support families with these tools, ideas, and confidence to create these meaningful moments every day. With thematic education, even a mushroom kit becomes a classroom, a place for growth, curiosity, and connection.
Thank you. So families can actually jump on and get their own mushroom kit. Is that
Mushroom
what you?
kit? Yeah, it's there's a mushroom in schools program that's run by the Australian Mushroom Growers Association, and I'll pass on all the links and everything that you need. So you get the kit, the growing kit, and you get everything that you need. I think it's a 10-week program. You get all the learning lesson plans. There's a video library. You get a certificate at the end. But yeah, everyone can just jump on and have a look. And I've put the links will be for primary school and for high school, because this Australian growers only do primary school program.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
The high school one, because of course I will be doing high school. So
great. Is there anything else that you feel is important to share with us about thematic education?
I didn't want to overwhelm everybody with too much information, because it just gets a bit hard.
Yes. All right.
So,
okay.
If anyone has any questions, they can always contact me.
Yes, perfect. Excellent. So if you're watching the replay, please reach out to Cindy via thematiceducation.com, and you'll also find her on Facebook. And of course, her details are inside the Homeschool Resource Finder website and community. Thanks for joining us.